Welcome to my channel. Today we will talk about a case that is shaking public opinion internationally, Luigi Mangione, the so-called New York killer, and his last act of violence that led to the tragic death of a man a few days ago. We will analyze the details of the event, the context that surrounds it, and we will try to draw a psychological profile of Luigi Mangione. Prepare yourselves for an analysis of a case that is causing a lot of discussion. Luigi Mangione, a name of Italian origin but born in the USA, was arrested on Monday, December 9, 2024, by the police in a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. He was 400 kilometers from the Hilton in New York, where the CEO of United Healthcare was killed on Wednesday, December 4th. 5 days after the murder of Brian Thompson, he still had with him the gun and silencers used to commit the crime. He also allegedly had false documents with 4 different names. Among them was the one used to register at the hostel where he had slept. He also had the political manifesto against what the man represented, the pharmaceutical companies, and all the problems created for those who cannot get coverage. I apologize for the trauma created, but it had to be done. We had to eliminate this parasite, he declared at the time of his arrest. Investigators said it was a surprise to find him. His name had not been on a list of suspects before Monday. A McDonald's customer in Altoona reportedly recognized the suspect from media coverage and alerted an employee who then notified police. When police arrived, Luigi Mangione showed a fake New Jersey driver's license with the name Mark Rosario. He allegedly began shaking when an officer asked if he had been to New York recently, the criminal complaint added. A search of his backpack turned up a so-called ghost gun and a loaded magazine with 6 rounds of 9mm ammunition. Prosecutors said he also had a U.S. passport and $10,000 in cash, including $2,000 in foreign currency, though Mangione disputed the amount in court. Graduated in engineering, he has an excellent academic record from prestigious schools in the United States. This 26-year-old of Italian origin was born in Maryland, where he attended a high school with $40,000 a year, graduating at the top of his class. He graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, one of the Ivy League like Yale. Until 2023, he worked at TrueCar, a company in Santa Monica, California, selling cars online. He made the weapon with a 3D printer and is a great technology enthusiast. His last known address was in Honolulu in the Hawaiian Islands. Already on the evening of December 9th, he was charged by the Blair County Court for illegal possession of weapons and false documents and for providing a false identity. In New York, the charge is for murder, and the extradition procedure from Pennsylvania has been started. He did not flee. He did not go abroad. He is not a professional killer. What moved him was a political and social motivation that has animated him, it seems, in recent months. He said he acted alone and had with him a manifesto with his general and personal motivations. He attacks the iniquity of capitalism and the social consequences that come in particular from the form of the predominantly private U.S. healthcare system that leads to inequalities and undermines the health and rights of the weakest. Even someone close to him would have been a victim of the insurance system. It is difficult to think of a relative given that he comes from one of the most prominent families in Maryland. In fact, his grandfather created a real estate portfolio with retirement homes for the elderly, where Luigi Mangione volunteered, and country clubs. 6 months ago, he would have suddenly disappeared from the websites and social networks he frequented. He would have also distanced himself from family and friends, instead approaching the Unabomber theories. It is not clear whether there is a trigger, an event that transformed this privileged boy, described by his friends as Sonny, into a murderer. It could be a physical trauma. He would have suffered from a slippage of some vertebrae since childhood, and last year he would have had back surgery following a fall. He told the magistrate of the first interrogation that he had no drug or mental health problems. Mangione's family said they were shocked and devastated by his arrest. We offer our prayers to Brian Thompson's family and ask people to pray for all involved, their statement read, posted on social media by the defendant's cousin, Maryland State Rep. Nino Mangione. Despite the evidence, the former model student's lawyer has so far reiterated that he has seen no evidence linking his client to the December 4th crime in Manhattan. The police have responded by unleashing a torrent of new evidence, starting with fingerprints found on the wrapper of a kind Beretta and the water bottle. Fingerprints were also found on bullets with the words deny, delay, depose written in permanent marker, terms often used by insurance companies to deny reimbursements to patients, which in turn matched the homemade gun that Mangione had with him. Meanwhile, the contents of a spiral-bound notebook in which the boy had drawn up his plans have been leaked to the media. Hit the CEO at the annual parasitic convention of numbers-obsessed accountants. It's targeted, precise, and doesn't put innocence at risk, is a passage from the rough draft cited by the New York Times. Meanwhile, wanted-style posters have appeared in Manhattan with the faces of CEOs of private mutuals, including Thompson with an X over his face. A target list is said to be circulating online, and police have warned C-rooms of an increased short-term threat. The new draft is in addition to the poster found on the boy. Luigi claims he initially thought it was a bomb, but changed his mind because he didn't want to kill innocent people. The boy, despite everything, intends to plead not guilty, said his lawyer Dickey, who appeared out of nowhere after the arrest. The lawyer has his office in Altoona, the city where Mangione was arrested following a tip-off from an employee at a McDonald's that was recently ravaged by false negative reviews from Americans convinced that Luigi is a hero. Dickey said his office is receiving offers from people willing to contribute to the legal costs. It is unclear what the family is doing, which has so far said it is devastated and shocked by the murder. Police and the media are looking for a motive beyond the resentment shown in the killer's writings against the financial establishment and private mutuals in particular. In June, Mangione turned 26, the age at which American children are no longer covered by their parents' insurance. It was around then that Luigi cut ties with friends and family. Could it be that the fear of future medical bills was what triggered the murderous spring in light of the devastating back pain Luigi had been suffering from for some time, and for which he had surgery last year? In the meantime, we review the many readings of The Promising Student of Private Schools and the prestigious UPenn in Philadelphia. In addition to the Unabomber and theorists of the manosphere such as Jordan Peterson, the Canadian academic who accuses society of having marginalized young men, the manifesto contains references to the director Michael Moore and the New York Times journalist Elizabeth Rosenthal, cited as people who have shed light on the corruption and greed of the health industry. An industry in which the Mangione family itself has played a part. In addition to golf courses and construction, grandfather Nick, who started from nothing, had made money with a network of private nursing homes and apartments for the elderly. To better understand Luigi Mangione's actions, it is essential to analyze his psychological profile. Luigi Mangione was born on May 6, 1998 in Towson. The Mangiones were known for their influence and philanthropy in the Italian community of Baltimore. From an early age, Luigi showed a lively intelligence and a natural talent for music and mathematics. His parents, eager to cultivate these qualities, provided him with the best educational opportunities. Luigi, as a teenager, walks the halls of the prestigious Gilman School, interacting with classmates and teachers. He stands out for his dedication to study. At the Gilman School in Baltimore, Luigi excelled in all subjects, emerging as one of the brightest students in his class. In 2016, he graduated as valedictorian, the valedictorian speech usually given by the student who achieved the highest grades in the class, confirming his extraordinary academic abilities. Growing up in a successful family, Luigi was exposed to conversations about business, ethics, and social responsibility. These conversations shaped his worldview and his future aspirations. In his home laboratory, a young Luigi disassembles and assembles computers, surrounded by programming books and electronic circuits. In addition to the arts, Luigi developed a deep passion for technology. He spent hours exploring the mechanisms of computers, dreaming of innovating in the field of computer engineering. In 2020, Luigi earned a Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering and a Master of Science in Engineering Science from the University of Pennsylvania, with a specialization in artificial intelligence. Over time, despite his academic and professional successes, Luigi began to show increasing discomfort with perceived injustices in society, particularly with regard to the healthcare system and economic inequality. Luigi, alone in his room, writes notes and reflections in a notebook, expressing increasingly critical and radical thoughts about contemporary society. As time goes by, Luigi progressively isolates himself, dedicating himself to self-study and developing increasingly extreme ideologies, fueled by a deep sense of injustice and the search for radical change. In an interview, a former professor of his said, "Luigi was brilliant, but at times he seemed to carry a huge emotional burden. It was as if he saw the world with a sense of frustration that few could understand." As time went by, Luigi began to show signs of a mind under pressure. His obsession with social inequality and the health system, which he perceived as corrupt and inhumane, led him to isolate himself more and more. He wrote on social media, "The system is designed to enrich a few and destroy the lives of many. Change won't happen by itself. Someone has to act." According to sources, the CEO of Healthcare Inc. had become the symbol of the corrupt system that Luigi despised. A public meeting where Luigi openly challenged the management of healthcare may have triggered his final collapse. In this meeting, the victim dismissed Mangione in a contemptuous tone, saying, "We can't save everyone. The market dictates the rules." Luigi Mangione shows traits of an extremely idealistic and perfectionist personality. His inability to accept the imperfections of the system and his obsession with justice led him to develop a rigid thinking. This, combined with social isolation and a sense of impotence, created a dangerous mixture that led him to the extreme act. Luigi seems to exhibit behavior typical of someone suffering from borderline personality disorder, characterized by impulsivity, emotional instability, and difficulty managing anger. The American public has reacted in a complex and varied way to the arrest of Luigi Mangione. After his arrest, Mangione was seen by some as something of a folk hero. On social media, he quickly amassed over 460,000 followers, and the hashtag #FreeLuigi was shared over 50,000 times. Lookalike contests were held in places such as Washington Square Park in New York and at the University of Florida. Additionally, merchandise supporting him appeared on platforms such as Etsy and Amazon, although many were later removed. However, the celebration has drawn criticism. New York Post columnist Mark Cunningham has called the admiration for Mangione derailed thinking and unhealthy, noting that glorifying an alleged killer is dangerous and based on false beliefs. The case has also reignited debate over inequalities in the American healthcare system. Some see Mangione's action as an extreme protest against perceived injustices in the health insurance industry, drawing attention to the frustrations many citizens have with this issue. Media coverage has highlighted the focus on his physical appearance, with some describing him as a sex symbol online. This narrative has raised concerns about the risk of romanticizing criminal figures, distracting from the seriousness of their alleged crimes. In short, American public opinion is divided between those who see Mangione as a symbol of protest against inequality and those who firmly condemn the violent act and its glorification. If you want to stay updated on the developments of this case and other crime stories, subscribe to my channel and activate notifications. Thanks for following me, and see you next crime story.